What's going on, everyone? It's the Beer One back with another beer review, and today we are getting into a special beer review. I'm a sucker for marketing. I know I say that a lot, but man, you can't even see it. You'll have to excuse the lighting. It's a really cool can. If you drank this before, you know what it is. It's Stone Ghost Hammer. It's an IPA. I don't think it's a double, triple, West Coast style. Just a regular old IPA. I think, I pre-record these and I keep them in my phone for a few weeks, and I try to every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday put them out. So I'm sure by now, at the time of this release, that I've uploaded the regular Stone IPA, and I actually really liked it for like just a standard classic American craft beer. And so I'm really excited to get into this. I love the can, even though you can't see it. It's mostly a white can, but it's got like a silver metallic design on it. It's really flashy and cool. I really want to try the whole series. There's I think Ruination IPA came out with this series. There was a Fear.movie.lions beer. Really curious to try that one. That name's pretty unique. I don't understand the name, and I would love to buy that beer and research on it. And then there was what else did I see? Try by 120, I believe. So yeah, there were those those 4 beers at least that I saw come out in this kind of new wave of ghost beers. Again, it's an IPA, and I think they have some really cool marketing for this IPA. Apparently, they put like a really almost poetic story behind this beer about late at night, the brewery cracks and groans with the pipes condensing and expanding at night. And at night, some of the darkest corners of the brewery are just pitch black. And for the night crew that has to tend to the beer that's fermenting at night, they wanted to commemorate them with this Ghost Hammer IPA. And the Ghost Hammer is named after the poltergeist that supposedly haunts the night shift at Ghost, and they call it the Ghost Hammer. So pretty cool marketing, I think. I just like the whole vibe Ghost has, Stone has. I used to blow Ghost off just as another trendy California IPA brewery, but the more I drink them, the more I respect Stone. I think they put out a really good quality product, so I'm really interested to get into this Ghost Hammer IPA and see what I think about it. And just as a disclaimer, I'm getting used to IPAs. I'm starting to enjoy IPAs, but I just don't think I'll ever be an IPA guy. So take my critique of this beer with a grain of salt if you are an IPA person. It's got a pale appearance. It's not hazy. There's like I had an IPA, I think, or maybe it's a pale ale. I had a beer like this where, per se, you make a juice with Kool-Aid and water, and you don't mix it. You see the Kool-Aid and the water are kind of separated. Well, I don't mean that in disrespect to this beer, but it seems like there's different layers of this beer, and it would need to be swirled around and mixed together. So it's not hazy per se, but it is kind of muddy. I can't see all the way through the beer, but I can't see through it, so it's definitely not one of these hazy IPAs. It's got a, I don't want to say a pale, it's definitely more of a yellow golden appearance, similar to that of a Miller Lite or a Cream Ale. Head retention is pretty solid here. It's got 6.7% alcohol, if I remember. Yeah, 6.7% alcohol. So this isn't a terribly sessionable beer per se. I wouldn't just chug a 6-pack of these, but you could definitely have a few and be feeling pretty good. Not any carbonation hardly going on in this beer. Looks a lot like a cream ale if I'm just judging it by the appearance. This is definitely an IPA. It's got exactly what the descriptors say. I kind of wish I hadn't read the descriptors, because I feel like I'm cheating my brain when I read descriptors prior to tasting the beer. But it's definitely what the descriptors said, a very floral and citrus dominant IPA. Yeah, I get some earthiness there, some grassiness, but there's definitely that floral scent that comes through. And then I get, it's definitely not orange, it's more in the vein of the really tart citrus, like lemon and grapefruit. I don't think I'm getting any malt in here. If I'm getting any malt whatsoever, it's just very delicate and it's easily forgettable. But yeah, that's mainly what I get. I get, flowers, floral scents, a little bit of grassy earthiness. I think that just almost comes standard with most hops in my experience. And then the citrus, that grapefruit and lemon kind of undertone to the floral, but that earthy floral tone is the dominant scent, at least on my nose. This is a very interesting beer. See, I think more on the palate, I get more of that delicate maltiness going on, but this isn't a super hoppy beer. I think it was 56 IBUs, so it's not a palate fryer. It's a standard IPA. It's more floral. The earthiness, the grassiness kind of takes a back seat on the palate. And the lemon and the grapefruit kind of shine through. Yeah, I would say the floral's kind of there in the beginning with like some pretty delicate malt. I think I'm getting malt. It could just be my brain knowing it's a beer telling me there just has to be some kind of malt in here. And then I get the 56 IBUs on the throat with a drying finish. Not a lot of carbonation going on in this beer. Not even champagne-like consistency. It's not dead in terms of carbonation. It definitely has some prickliness, but it's definitely not scratching your throat by any means. And then as it dries and you swallow and you get the bitterness, I think the lemon and the citrus really linger on the tongue, and I like that. I like what they did with this beer. It was a good beer. I'd recommend this to any IPA fan out there. I think it's a unique beer, but I don't think it's world class. I think this might have been just a fun little project from Stone. I don't regret the purchase at all. I love floral hops. I think they have the most unique. I think they're some of the most unique hops there are. Everything tends to be grassy and piney, or citrusy, or tropical, and I just don't ever get the chance to. I don't ever really get a chance to smell and taste the floral hops that often. They seem to be overlooked. Yeah, I don't think this, I wouldn't recommend this to, like, if you've been drinking IPAs for a while, you're there with your doubles and your quads. I don't think you're gonna find this beer too exciting. On the other hand, I think rookies are gonna find the 56 IBUs to be pretty bitter. I definitely wouldn't recommend this to a guy trying to dance into craft beer. I think this is a good intermediate beer for you intermediate people out there. You know, you've been drinking for a couple months, couple years, and you kind of know what you're expecting when you drink craft beer now, and maybe you've had an IPA or two, or maybe you want to venture into the IPAs. I think this would be a good starter IPA, or a good continuation of your journey into IPA. I think that would be, fill that niche pretty good. I still like the marketing. I still like Stone. This beer's okay. I give it a 4 out of a 5. It's a A- beer, a 90. I feel like this beer doesn't have enough complexity. I feel like all I'm getting is the hops and the bitterness. I don't feel like there's much else going on. You know, it's just a lot of floral scents and tastes, a lot of grassiness and taste, just very minute, delicate malt at all. I don't really feel like it balances out the beer very much. And then you have the lemon grapefruit undertones, which is very nice. I like the hop combination. I just don't feel like this beer is complex enough for me and what I was looking for in this beer. However, it's still a good IPA. I feel like a 4.0 for an IPA from me, and I do not like IPAs for real, although I'm coming around to them, if you can tell by the vibe of this video. Yeah, Stone Brewing Ghost Hammer, 4 out of a 5. Until next time, guys. Cheers.